Up, guys? Good morning. Happy Thursday. Vikings are playing the Rams tonight. I'm going to start right there before I go into anything else because I'm really looking forward to this game. The Rams season is on the line. What the direction of the team is on the line. It's going to be a fascinating game. Probably the two best offensive minds in the game with McVay and O'Connell. O'Connell was the OC when the Rams won the Super Bowl. Cup is back playing. Cooper Cup is one of my favorite receivers. Absolutely awesome. He's just been banged up, and that's an understatement here. So he's finally coming back. He's in trade rumors. Will he get traded? The Rams want to win the division. Rams want to win the Super Bowl. So they were my pick to get the 1 seed. Their roster is just absolutely decimated with injuries. But if there was a perfect spot for them, it is tonight. Best stat I've seen through the entire football season is the team if you play the Lions, the next week you lose, period. And the Vikings played the Lions last week. The Lions it's like playing the Ravens and the Steelers back when you could hit people. It's just like, okay, after that Ravens Steelers game, they're going to absolutely, like, that's the best time to play the Ravens or the Steelers. And also, if you play the Ravens or the Steelers in the regular season back then, those teams, those James Harrison defenses, those Ray Lewis defenses, yeah, you need a whole week before you can get back to yourself. And apparently that's what the Lions are doing to people because they're just mauling people offensively. That offensive line really dominated the Vikings. And Cashman, Blake Cashman, the middle linebacker, the Mike linebacker for the Vikings, not playing tonight. The Rams got a weak Raiders team at home. They don't have to travel. Darnold goes back to Southern California. He played at USC. A lot going on for the Vikings. The Vikings can afford to lose. The Rams have to win. I'm staying away or I'm taking the Rams. I'm leaning towards the Rams. I want to see a few more things until I get the game time, but tough spot for the Vikings. Rams, my gut feeling here is that they're the team that goes on a run, especially if they can pull this off tonight. Puka's going to come back at some point, but Stafford is just so good that yeah, I think the Rams can go on a run here, and the NFC is weak, especially the NFC West. So I do like the Rams. If anything tonight, the total's 48. It's a lot of points, but yeah, the Vikings defense is not the same without Cashman in the middle, going up against McVay. Short week. Yeah, a lot going on there. So tough spot for the Vikings. On the contrary, if the Vikings do win tonight, I'd be like, man, that is like the Vikings. They go from, yeah, they'll probably make the playoffs to, are they a legit Super Bowl contender? Because this is a really tough spot for them. So should be a fun game. We got that tonight. I really don't check the college football schedule because I don't bet on it. And what we got? Anything interesting? Syracuse, Pittsburgh. No, nothing interesting, right? Syracuse, Pittsburgh. So NBA wise, trying to get into it. Watched the Lakers the other night against the Timberwolves. They're still calling a million fouls, so the pace of play hasn't necessarily, still looks very similar to what it's been looking here in the NBA. So it wasn't the most enjoyable thing. Celtics shot 100 million three-pointers to beat the Knicks. So I'm not quite excited enough to really watch the NBA at the moment. I do like the fact that J Mart's doing all of his bets though, so I get to follow him. He's at 500 right now after going 2-3 yesterday. So if you are betting the NBA or if you are doing daily fantasy, I feel like really good value just reading J Mart's write-ups to see if it triggered you one way or the other to make a decision. So hope you're continuing to do that. And all right, let's talk Dodgers, Yankees here for a second. Or a little bit more than a second. All right, so Yankees are going to throw out Garrett Cole. That wasn't a shocker. And the Dodgers are going to throw out Flaherty. Deep breath with Flaherty. Interesting thing is Flaherty hasn't faced the Yankees since 2023, even though he was with the Tigers and then us last year. So he didn't face them last year, or excuse me, like 2023, like earlier in the season. So when he was with the Orioles, he didn't face them. Last time he faced the Yankees was with the Cardinals. It's not a good matchup for him. There's no real way to, I don't know how to put it any other way besides it's not a good matchup for him. The Yankees line up a bunch of guys that can hit the home runs. They're hitting the ball well. I would have liked Yamamoto to start this game. Flaherty got rocked last time. I know he pitched really well game one of the NLCS against the Mets at home, but he was catching a Mets team that was tired after an emotional win in their series. I'm not a, I don't know. I really want to bet against the Yankees, but I don't think I can do it tomorrow night. I think it's just not great value. I wouldn't be surprised if the Yankees got game one, and then I'll probably jump on the Dodgers. Outside of Garrett Cole pitching game one, the other pitching matchups I do think favors the Dodgers. So maybe that's part of the logic is just throw Flaherty out there. So you have the advantage in the other spots because the Yankees will throw out Rodon in game two and the Dodgers will throw out Yamamoto. I think that really does favor the Dodgers. Rodon, I just don't trust him in that spot. Although he has pitched a lot out there, I'm going to favor the Dodgers. Game three and four, the Yankees in game three, I guess they go Schmidt. I think that's pretty much decided. The Dodgers haven't decided if they're going to go Bueller or a bullpen game. And then the Yankees have to decide based on how Cole pitches, where the series is at. Do they do the four-man rotation and let Hill pitch? Or do they let Cole pitch game four and then Hill pitch game five potentially, or go back to Rodon in game two? Whereas the Dodgers will do a bullpen game and then they're going to set it up and let Flaherty get two starts, it looks like, and Yamamoto get two starts. And then I would imagine Bueller goes game three so he can pitch game seven. So when you go through all of it, it feels like 50-50 games every which way. Like it's a really balanced series. So where's the edge going to come? And as maybe cliche as it sounds, is whose best players are going to play better because it's really hard to say who has the better players at the top. And with all the injuries with the Dodgers, their depth, yeah, it's. I really wanted to get excited and bet a lot of money against the Yankees, and now I'm getting a little gun shy. Maybe I need to wait until we get game four, five, six, seven. Because to me, the longer the series, the better for the Dodgers, the more pressure that'll be on the Yankees. I feel like the Dodgers have a better chemical makeup. They've just been more consistent. I just don't want the Yankees to win game one. And then I'm like, man, I should have just waited till game two to bet the Dodgers. So I'll most likely sit it out. The Dodgers have to make a lot of decisions with the lineup. It looks like Freeman's most likely going to join the team. So if he's in there, that takes care of a lot of it. But they're going to go Miguel Rojas, the starting shortstop. I don't think he's going to make it. And then in the bullpen, they got their top lefty. I have a hard time with his last name, but Alex Vasilia, I think it is. He got hurt against the Padres. They really could use him because without him, they only have one other lefty, Banda, who, man, you got to have something to do with Soto here. I mean, you just do. Like, if the Dodgers are going to lose, it feels like it's going to be because of Soto. I think the Dodgers will be able to match up Stanton, Torres, and Judge. The Dodgers have a lot of arms, so I think they'll be able to throw different things. I give the edge there, but how many Soto is the guy. So the Dodgers really could use that Vasilia guy. That'll be a big deal. Talk about it a little bit more tomorrow, and then obviously as the series goes on and break it down. But those were my thoughts there. I think I was more excited to bet against the Yankees until, man, the way they beat Cleveland, just a lot of momentum going into that game one. So we'll see how it plays out. As far as the rest of the schedule for the NFL this week, obviously, I'll go through it on Sunday, but nothing really jumped out as far as like, oh, where's this number going to go, or this could move or that could move. But I don't know how I'm going to not bet on the Bengals this week. I really like the Bengals. Every other game was kind of like, yeah, maybe a lot of big numbers. Couldn't really love anything, but I'm going to spend a minute or two talking through the Bengals because it'll help me in my process. And I don't know how the Eagles win this game. It's just I mean, I guess I shouldn't say I don't know how they win this game, but the Bengals are hot right this second. They won two in a row. They could have beat us easily at the end of the game. The Eagles are going to have a really hard time protecting against the Bengals pass rush. Like the Bengals don't stop the run very well. That's how the Eagles are going to beat them. But if the Bengals can score and it turns into, shootout and the Eagles, because their offensive coordinator and the coach have no idea what they're doing, maybe they get away from the run. That's what I'm counting on. Barkley is clearly the best player on the field, but it just feels like the Eagles aren't going to be able to stop Cincinnati the way they had a hard time with Tampa Bay. And then they'll try to throw the ball too much. And if they do that, it goes right into the Bengals' favor. It's only 2 points. That to me was the game where, yeah, I know I'm doubling down on betting against the Eagles, but I didn't see anything last week that made me feel great about the Eagles' offense. I saw an exhausted Giants defense who still was able to sack Hurts a bunch of times, but they're on the field the entire game because the Giants couldn't move the ball. So leaning towards the Bengals as the one big game for this week. I'll process the injury report and all that jazz as I get closer. But besides that, a lot of big numbers. Touch on the Chiefs getting Hopkins. Just a disaster for everybody. He's literally the perfect player for that. And the frustrating part is the Ravens wanted Derrick Henry last year, and the Titans didn't want to give it to us. But the Titans are going to give Hopkins to the Chiefs. Just annoying. I don't know what else to say about it. It's like the perfect player in the perfect situation. Like that's exactly what they needed. Somebody to catch the ball 12, 13 times a game potentially. They need somebody for 7, 8 yards, runs great routes, contested catches, doesn't have the breakaway speed anymore. Doesn't really matter. Just smart, motivated, and Titans give it to him. So that's annoying. The Ravens, they get Millette back, which depending on how he's playing and with Humphrey's injury, if there's an opportunity to add a corner, sure. But besides that, this team's fine. Like this team is ready to roll. The best version of the Ravens beats the Chiefs last year, and it beats the Chiefs this year. So to me, you just enjoy the ride. They built the team the right way. It'd be very easy to do an Eric DaCosta appreciation podcast if I wanted to do one for 50 hours because he has made rooting for the Ravens the easiest thing to do because all he does is try to put the best team out there. And every year it feels like we've maximized what we can do with the roster. If you want them to add a receiver, you want them to add a pass rusher, you want them to add a corner, it's never no, we don't need to. Oh, we're waiting for next year. It's let's just do the best we can to get whatever we need to win this year. I don't think adding a receiver is very helpful because with all the tight ends and the chemistry with the running backs and Bateman's emergence, yeah, you could always use depth, but if you get somebody that wants the ball, it just messes things up. So I would leave that alone. Pass rusher wise, I don't know who's available, but I really do like the guys there. I think the defense, it's not perfect. If there was somebody to add, that'd be great. I don't know who's available necessarily. They added Ndakwe. I don't know. To me, the bigger concern is if there was a corner to add. I think Marshawn Lattimore's name's been floated around from the Saints. That would be a game changer that I would say, all right, go make that move. Outside of that, just roll with what we have. Just tighten it up a little bit more on defense. But this team's so much fun to watch. So I'm not going to sit here and spend too much time going through the trades and potential trades. I did that with the Orioles, and that was exhausting. And the Ravens just don't need to do it. So, all right, I think that's good for today. I'll have my bet out for whatever I decide to do with the Rams. I know it's going to have Stafford written all over it. I think he's going to shine tonight. They're going to try to control the ball, short passes. So I'm looking forward to going through the props there. J Mart will have his bets out. We'll see if Jack has anything. Be here tomorrow, do a little bit more on the Dodgers, Yankees, and on the Ravens, Browns. Want to talk about this matchup because without Deshaun Watson, I think it's a tricky spot for the Ravens. So looking forward to going through that. And cool. Hope everybody has a good day. And good luck with whatever you're doing tonight. I'll see you guys tomorrow.